This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. The community of Hollow Water First Nation is still trying to make sense of a mass stabbing. Not only what happened, but why. 8 people were attacked and an 18-year-old woman killed. The suspect, her 26-year-old brother, also dead. For so many, it's incomprehensible. And right now, there are few answers as the police investigation continues. CBC's Felicia Adam has more from the First Nation today.
A sacred fire continues to burn here in Hollow Water First Nations for the victims of a tragic attack that happened on Thursday morning. On Friday, the community was quiet. Schools were closed, playgrounds were empty, and flags were at half-mast. The presence of First Nation security officers in the area was noticeable, many of them coming from other First Nations as far away as Long Plain. We spoke with a council member here in the community, and he says that's so that people who are impacted by what happened could feel safe in their community. The community itself is pretty small, so it's hard to come by people who didn't know the victims personally. Many of them that we spoke to said they've grown up with them or they've known them for a number of years. A lot of them are distraught. They're wondering how anything like this could have happened in the community.
The bewilderment and shock and just not knowing how to deal with it, so they're going to need lots of support for sure.
There will be a vigil here on Monday for that support, but also to support the victims. Felicia Adam, CBC News, Hollow Water First Nation.
Meantime, we're learning more about the man police say is responsible for it all. Court records show the 26-year-old had a history of assault and was out on bail at the time of this latest attack. The CBC's Rosanna Hempel has more.
Court records show Tyrone Simard was out on bail when the attacks happened. The 26-year-old was charged with assault with a weapon and mischief in connection to alleged incidents on June 8th. Days later, he was granted bail with conditions.
Those conditions included a curfew and an order not to use alcohol or drugs or possess weapons. He was also ordered not to contact 4 people. One of those people was his sister, Marina Simard. Police allege Tyrone Simard killed the 18-year-old on Hollow Water First Nation on Thursday and stabbed 7 others. Court records also show Simard was in the care of Child and Family Services from when he was 10 until he was 18. He also suffered from alcoholism and very low cognitive functioning. Laurie Goosehead is from Hollow Water and knew the family. He doesn't know what happened, but is helping plan a protest in the community on Sunday, urging First Nation leadership to take the drug crisis seriously.
We have a lot of potential within Hollow Water First Nation. And the thing that is stopping us is the drug crisis and the dealers and the bootleggers. It's hurting our youth, it's tearing our families apart.
A lack of cell service, mental health supports, and policing on First Nations are also once again in the spotlight. RCMP say its Pine Falls Powerview Detachment has 20 members who serve 5 communities and 3 First Nations, including Hollow Water, along with most of the rural municipality of Alexander. National Chief Cindy Woodhouse-Neepanek of the Assembly of First Nations says a lack of police resources may have played a role in the tragedy.
We used to have 58 First Nations policing services across the country. We're now down to 36. Why is that? We also need to make sure that it's not a program anymore and that we push towards making policing as an essential service.
Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs Grand Chief Kyra Wilson agrees. She argues the Provincial First Nation Safety Officer program is severely underfunded.
We should always be responsible for our own.
Meanwhile, Shared Health says 3 patients were discharged from hospital on Thursday, while 4 others remain hospitalized. Rosanna Hempel, CBC News, Winnipeg.
It's a valuable commodity, but now copper is costing businesses. Some not-for-profit organizations along Selkirk Avenue are out of pocket after being the target of metal theft. Their heating and cooling units are being stripped of the copper, leaving them on the hook for thousands of dollars. Well, the province has tried to make it harder for people to buy and sell stolen metal. Not everyone agrees that it's working. CBC's Mike Arsenault has the details.
Cut all that wire. See, that's what they were going after first, was just this stuff.
The units on the roof of Urban Circle Training Center that control the temperature are in pieces. When Vicki Brown and her staff returned from summer break, they noticed the building was hot in certain places, so they called someone to fix them.
Our heating and cooling guys came here to check them out, and then they told us that they were stripped for the copper, and I guess there's like little pipes in there that has copper in it, and they took them.
Brown says a couple weeks later, thieves came back and stripped more metal off the units. Now all 9 don't work.
We're an education center and we're bettering people's lives, and we would think that they wouldn't do something like that.
Down the street at the North End Women's Center, Cynthia Drabot had to get a fence built around the parking lot after 3 of her HVAC units were stripped for their copper. She says they can't make an insurance claim because their deductible is very high, so the repair costs fall on them.
It takes away from the services we're doing for community, and anything we spend on things like that we weren't anticipating, we have to find the money somewhere. So it comes from something.
Stolen metal is typically sold to scrap yards for quick cash. The Scrap Metal Act aims to curb theft by requiring yards to keep records of transactions involving used items made out of copper, iron, steel, and other metals. Justice Minister Matt Wiebe says its government is looking at improving the act.
There's ways that we can do that, again, in conjunction with industry, because we have had success with the catalytic converter legislation, and I think that, if there's opportunities like that, we're going to take them.
Urban Circle believes enforcing the Scrap Metal Act would reduce the amount of copper theft in the area. Drabot says we also need to address the root causes.
Cracking down on metal isn't the root cause, but looking at how to support communities that are living in really low-income situations is.
Wiebe says his government is developing a rebate program for businesses to help with security and repair costs. CBC reached out twice to police for comment but didn't get a reply. Mike Arsenault, CBC News, Winnipeg.
A warning, our next story includes disturbing details around the death of a baby. A 3-month-old child found unresponsive, a little girl who died with meth in her bloodstream. Her mom now on trial for the 2022 death. CBC's Caitlin Gowerluck was in court for the latest.
Photos submitted during the trial of a Winnipeg mother whose baby died in 2022 showed a home full of garbage and drug paraphernalia. But Allison Muse testified Friday she's never done meth and said she wouldn't even know what it looks like. Paramedics were called to her Winnipeg home in February 2022 after her 3-month-old daughter became unresponsive. Police seized a number of items from the home, including some court heard were used to smoke meth. Officers also seized 3 baby bottles, all of which tested positive for the drug. Muse is charged with failing to provide the necessaries of life. The baby's father, Christopher Mattern, previously pleaded guilty to the same charge. He was sentenced last month to 21 months time served plus 2 years supervised probation. Court heard during Mattern's sentencing, toxicology reports found meth in the baby's bloodstream after she died. But an autopsy listed her cause of death as undetermined. The baby's name was Layla Mattern Muse. She previously could not be identified because of a publication ban, but that was later lifted. During cross-examination on Friday, prosecutors challenged Muse's statement that she's never done meth, saying she tested positive for it more than once. Muse said she was surprised when she learned those results and maintained she's never used the drug. Muse's trial is expected to continue with arguments from lawyers at a later date. Caitlin Gowerluck, CBC News, Winnipeg.
All right, time now to bring in weather specialist Riley Lachuk. And Riley, I did get out for my morning walk, but boy, oh boy, was it a windy one out there today.
Yeah, very windy one, particularly in the Red River Valley through the afternoon, Brittany. I've seen some numbers on the map, gusts close to or exceeding 60 kilometers an hour through the afternoon hours today, starting to back off a bit, but do expect the wind to stick around as we get into the day on Saturday. Also, as expected today, a few scattered showers through the Parkland, through the Riding Mountain region, and a bit of clearing into the Red River Valley that helped elevate our temperatures through the afternoon today. 16 are high in the city this afternoon, 14s into Westman, with that gusty northwesterly wind certainly putting a bit of a bite in the air as we've gotten throughout the day today. Some isolated showers possible as we get through the overnight hours. Otherwise, we're looking at a partly cloudy sky. Temperature overnight in Winnipeg around 5 degrees. Could see some fluctuation in that, elsewhere in the city even. It can fluctuate. So around 5 overnight, temperatures cooler to the west. I'll talk about that a bit later on. 8 degrees in the morning, maybe a few showers, and back up to 15 degrees in the afternoon for your Saturday. Brittany will talk Banjo Bowl, and when we see a return to some more seasonal temperatures when I come back in a bit.
All right, waiting for that.
Yes.
Thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
Coming up, out for more than 100 days, the emotional plea from a First Nation chief to get his people home. More on that after the break. It's been more than 100 days since people from Matias Colomb Cree Nation have been able to sleep in their own beds or set foot in their own homes. Wildfires forced the community out back at the end of May. First Nations leaders say they desperately need governments to pay for generators to get them temporary electricity so they can go home. If not, they'll take matters into their own hands. CBC's Matt Humphrey explains.
So hard. We gotta get home.
An emotional call for a badly needed generator. Matias Colomb Cree Nation Chief Gordie Bear says the months away from home are taking a serious toll on his members. But a generator now could get the lights back on and people back home.
We struggled through sickness, mental breakdowns, lost loved ones. We lost another one this morning.
Matias Colomb fire officials say 12 members have died while out of their homes because of wildfires.
People are dying away from their traditional homelands, where they would have been put to rest in a way that is culturally appropriate.
Manitoba Keewatin Okanagan Grand Chief Garrison Settee calls it a national shame.
This should not be happening to any community in Manitoba or Canada, but it's happening to a Cree Nation.
Bear says they need $8 million to buy and install the generator. Matias Colomb is prepared to front the money, but he says Indigenous Services Canada is refusing to reimburse the cost. Now there's a back and forth going on between the Manitoba government, the federal government, and Manitoba Hydro.
Chief Bear has a plan. He has a plan. He has everything set up. He has the company.
Bear says the federal minister is now waiting for the green light from the provincial government in charge of hydro. But Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs Grand Chief, Kyra Wilson, says they're done asking.
We're done knocking on the door. If you do not respond, we will take action.
The provincial minister responsible for hydro says power should partially be back on in the community by September 11th, with it fully restored by the end of the month. Matt Humphrey, CBC News, Winnipeg.
He was killed by Winnipeg police nearly 2 years ago, but the report into Afolabi Opaso's death has left his family with more questions than answers. It says there are no reasonable grounds to charge the officer who shot and killed him. But as CBC's Gavin Axelrod reports, his loved ones and legal counsel aren't satisfied with that outcome.
Afolabi Opaso's family waited almost 2 years for the report into his death. They say they're devastated by its findings that no police officers will be charged.
We do not expect that that's what we're going to get. We the whole family, we are really disappointed. We are it's more like we are now in more pain.
Alberta's police watchdog handled the investigation to avoid any perceived conflict of interest. The family's lawyers slammed the report Friday.
The family believes that this report is partial, biased, incomplete, and to some extent even unprofessional.
Opaso was an international student at the University of Manitoba. He was in the throes of a mental health crisis when police were called to the apartment. The report said there was no reasonable grounds to charge the Winnipeg officer who shot and killed Opaso, and that police were responding in a careful fashion, when Opaso suddenly escalated and ran at them with knives. Director Matthew Block wrote that the knives presented the officers with a lethal threat, making the deadly use of a firearm proportionate.
Mental health is a public health concern, and that clearly we need to do better in this province in answering calls for help for mental health.
The lawyers also took issue with ACERT taking the case on January 9th, 2024, but not interviewing a witness officer until later that month. The officer who fired the lethal shots did not speak to investigators or provide his notes. ACERT says that is within his right to silence. The lawyers argued the finding that Opaso ran at police was only supported by the one officer interviewed, but is in fact by the roommates who were in the apartment during the incident who were also interviewed.
Perhaps the federal level should take over, and that is the ask of the family.
CBC News has asked ACERT for a response to the concerns with the report. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Charges against 3 Manitoba hockey players accused of hazing on a high school team are now stayed. It follows a restorative justice process in August. The Crown says the three took part in mediation involving some of the families of the alleged victims. Some case details became public in April 2024 when RCMP say the trio, all 17 at the time, were arrested in relation to hazing incidents on a hockey team. They faced various charges ranging from assault, causing bodily harm, to uttering threats. And Riley is back in now, and boy, oh boy, windy day.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't matter if you were out there this morning or this afternoon. I needed more than the vest that I thought would be good enough this morning.
Yeah, certainly
chilly.
a sweater morning this morning, not because of the temperature. The temperature is actually warmer than they were Thursday morning when we saw that low of 0, but it was that biting northwesterly wind that really just pushed some of that very cool Arctic air into southern Manitoba. So we are looking at another chilly one tonight. Maybe a bit of wind tomorrow for the Banjo Bowl. Let's talk about that because you might want to prepare for an umbrella or for the rain just in case. So 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, hoping for a win this time. Maybe if we're not playing in the heat, we'll do a little bit better than we did in Regina last weekend. 15 degrees. Mix of sun and clouds tomorrow. Maybe an isolated shower or two as we get through the afternoon across southern Manitoba. I'll go into more detail on that in a minute. By halftime, looking at winds north 20 gusting to 30. Could see some gusts up to 40 through the afternoon tomorrow. So just prepare for a bit of a windy one tomorrow once again. So maybe take a sweater with you just in case. Before we get there, though, we are looking at a chilly night across parts of southern Manitoba. On the Saskatchewan side of the border, we do have frost advisories in place down into southeastern Saskatchewan, where we are looking at temperatures dipping close to or just below the freezing mark overnight tonight. In western Manitoba, places like Roblin through the Morading Mountain region, looking at lows tonight around 2-3 degrees. So not quite a frost advisory, but certainly a risk of frost in extreme western parts of the province as we get into the night tonight. So looking at Futurecast, we have started to clear out some of that cloud cover as we've gotten throughout the afternoon hours. Still some scattered showers out of some of this as expected. And as we get into the day on Saturday, we are looking at some of those lake effect showers reappearing on the large lakes as we get through the overnight hours into the early morning. I think is when we have the best chance for some of that in Winnipeg. Again, very localized and very sporadic in nature. So I'm not talking about total washout or rain everywhere, but certainly there is that risk that we could run into a few isolated showers like we did today in parts of southern Manitoba as we get through the day on Saturday. By game time in the later afternoon, we are looking at mostly sunny skies once again. Winds do start to back off as we get into the day on Saturday. That is thanks to high pressure in the west that starts to move into the province as we get into Sunday. I think this particular forecast model is overdoing some of the cloud cover a little bit, but do expect a bit more sunshine, I think, as we get Sunday and into Monday once again as a ridge starts to build in the jet stream, and that is also going to allow our temperatures to push up a bit as we get into the early part of next week. Winds, first thing into the morning hours, looking at gusts even up to 40 possible. By the time we get into the afternoon, 15 gusting 30 with some of that odd gusting up to 40 plus as we get through the afternoon. But as we get into Sunday, we really start to see some of that wind dropping off as we get into the day on Sunday. So temperatures into the afternoon, 15s for Winnipeg and Brandon, looking at temperatures 11, 12 for much of northern Manitoba. And in the long range, there's that warm up I promised, looking at 22 for Monday, Brittany, 23s and 24s by midweek.
Wow, thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
We have much more to come right after this. Stay with us. Not everyone is on board with the city's plans to put supportive housing units in 5 different Winnipeg neighborhoods. They're supposed to be affordable housing options for people facing challenges finding a place to live. But residents in the areas have mixed reviews. CBC's Alana Cole was at last night's public hearing where residents were able to learn more about the proposed projects.
People turned out Thursday for a City of Winnipeg information session to learn about plans to develop supportive housing and in some cases raise their concerns.
It's just concerns that haven't been answered, and as a community, we're not sure how to get those answers.
Ken Mutchison lives not far from 75 Poseidon Bay, one of 5 locations identified for the project. The others, Sherbourne Street, Plessis Road, Stella Avenue, and McPhillips Street. The city says the housing would be affordable and aimed at helping those facing challenges finding a place to live, including youth aging out of care, people leaving encampments, and refugees. The city would work with the province to choose partners to build and operate the housing. Mutchison says there's been a lack of consultation with neighbors. When it comes to Poseidon Bay, he worries about safety. He's unhappy recycling bins would be moved and says parking at the nearby Pan Am Clinic is already a struggle.
I don't think that anybody has actually gone and checked the parking lot and looked at the site and actually seen the challenges of parking as it exists today.
Lissy Rappaport manages the city's Housing Accelerator Fund. She says Winnipeg's in a housing crisis. She's hearing from people on both sides.
A lot of support from residents and the public saying thank you for bringing this forward. We need to address, housing issues within our community. And then we're hearing a lot of fear and concern from residents that they don't want this type of housing within their neighborhood.
Sarah Schuster came to learn more.
I am supportive of having supportive housing. I think supportive housing is critically necessary for all of the groups that they've identified and probably others as well.
A public hearing on the city's application to rezone the land is scheduled for September 12th. People can speak at the hearing or submit written comments. Alana Cole, CBC News, Winnipeg.
The province is warning Manitobans about a new scam making its way around and urging people to be vigilant about suspicious text messages. People have started reporting receiving text messages about provincial fines and tax credits. The sender claims to be from Manitoba Justice, demanding payment for outstanding fines. The messages say you have a speeding ticket or traffic violation that's overdue. Others have gotten messages asking them to finalize their homeowner's affordability tax credit by clicking a link. The province says these are scams and you should not respond or click on any of the links. Well, the start of the school year is a bumpy ride for some students in the Louis Riel School Division. This school year, the charter buses the city used to provide have been eliminated, leaving students to use regular transit buses. Now, for some students waiting for their ride in Island Lakes, the first day of classes and using the new system didn't go as planned.
It was full, so it skipped my stop, and I couldn't get to school yesterday. So I had to be picked up by one of my parents.
Now, just moments, the same thing happened. Another full bus, and the stop was skipped. The Louis Riel School Division has sent a note to parents looking for their transit experiences. It says it will work with Winnipeg Transit and possibly adjust the school start times to accommodate the transit schedule. Now, transit fare evaders beware. The city says enforcement is being stepped up. Riders who fail to pay are costing the city millions of dollars every year, and the city is looking to collect. CBC's Cameron McLean has more.
Thousands of people pay to ride the bus in Winnipeg every day, but the city says for some people, not paying has become a regular habit. Mayor Scott Gillingham hopes to change that.
Too many times when we look at the people who have been causing problems on the bus, assaults and disturbances, they're individuals who have not paid.
Stats from the Amalgamated Transit Union showed roughly 90% of safety incidents on buses involve people who have not paid. Transit estimates fare evasion costs the service $7 to $10 million a year. In late August, community safety officers began patrolling bus stops, reminding passengers before they board that they have to pay.
I've had the public asking me, I pay to get on the bus, and taxpayers are paying to subsidize the transit operations. It should be that everyone else that can pay should be paying as well.
I had an experience this week where I was kicked by someone on the bus.
Logan Brunette says it's a complicated issue, but stricter enforcement is needed.
Generally, the people who aren't paying to be on the bus are, I would say, more likely to cause a disturbance.
Patrick Wright says he regularly sees people getting on without paying.
And I see people just going in every time there's 5 or 6 people at each bus stop. That they're not paying, obviously. There's definitely a problem there.
The union representing transit drivers has long called for increased fare enforcement, and while they support the mayor's announcement, they say the problem of fare evasion will take time to solve.
This is a behavior that's been allowed to fester and develop for many years.
Union President Chris Scott says drivers have borne the brunt of conflicts with passengers, and he welcomes any effort to curb fare evasion.
And it will take that long to retrain the riding public, or at least those that consistently evade fare, that this is the new norm now. You have to pay the fare.
Gillingham says community safety officers will still have the discretion to allow people on buses without paying. But for the most part, he says, the free ride is over. Cameron McLean, CBC News, Winnipeg.
13 southeast Manitoba communities will soon be able to double their populations once a new wastewater treatment plant in Niverville gets built. Tenders for the $235 million plant are due today. 6 municipalities will own it as a co-op, including Niverville, Hanover, Taché, and La Broquerie. More than 100 kilometers of pipes will connect the towns to the plant. A builder is expected to be announced in October, with construction completed in 4 to 5 years. The plant will be able to service 70,000 people, with the ability to expand and serve more. Prime Minister Mark Carney is pausing the federal government's 2026 electric vehicle targets and launching a review into the overall mandates. It's part of a new strategy to take the pressure off the automotive industry and support sectors impacted by the U.S. tariffs. But as Evan Dyer reports, not everyone is happy with the measure.
We have an auto sector, because of the massive change in U.S. trade policy, is under extreme pressure.
Mark Carney says tariffs have changed the situation for Canadian automakers, who are going to face a mandate next year requiring them to make at least 1 in 5 cars they sell electric.
They've got enough on their plate right now, so we're taking that off.
Carney says the mandate will be put on pause while the government conducts a 60-day review. Car makers won't have to meet the quota next year. Environmentalists say it's a disappointment.
We're worried. We don't really know what the extent of the review is going to be. And to be honest, we don't have a clear indication of the extent to which this government, under Prime Minister Mark Carney, remains committed to fighting climate change.
The auto industry, on the other hand, says pressure from south of the border made the change necessary.
We need the White House to change course. We need to invest in ourselves. I'm glad that we punted right now, but I'm also glad that we're still committed to it.
But not everyone is convinced the industry really is that committed, pointing to the fact that a maker like Ford hasn't brought a new electric model to the North American market in 4 years.
If you're serious about selling electric vehicles, you should be introducing models, right? And they have it. Now, in the meantime, they've introduced several models in Europe, the Explorer in particular, which I think would sell really well here. But they're selling in Europe, not here.
Lurie says that if the big three won't step up and the Trump administration is determined to go backwards, Canadians should have other options.
The mandate should remain, but the other thing that I think they should do is lower the tariffs on Chinese vehicles.
But the Canadian industry says Chinese car makers add nothing to the Canadian economy.
I think any loosening of the tariff for the Chinese has to come with an opportunity for Canadian suppliers or minerals and raw materials or dealers or Canadian workers. Right now, that's not the prospect.
2 provinces, Quebec and British Columbia, still have EV mandates on the books, but the federal and provincial rebates that once encouraged buyers are mostly gone. The federal government says it's considering bringing back a new federal rebate, but EV enthusiasts say that delay just encourages buyers to wait to see if they can get the same car for a better price later on. Evan Dyer, CBC News, Ottawa.
Prime Minister Mark Carney has rolled out a series of measures aimed at domestic economic growth and easing the pressure of U.S. tariffs on key industries.
If we want our economy to grow, and we do, with thriving careers at home and booming exports around the world, we must once again become a country that builds big and builds fast.
Speaking at an aerospace factory, Carney announced a Buy Canadian policy that ensures the federal government buys from Canadian suppliers. He also announced the formation of a new $5 billion fund to help companies and sectors hit by tariffs. To assist canola and agriculture producers impacted by tariffs, the government is also launching a $370 million biofuel production incentive. In addition, the plan pauses electric vehicle mandates to alleviate pressures in the automotive sector. The strategy will waive the mandate for the 2026 model year and launches a 60-day review of the policy. Carney also announced supports for those facing unemployment or job insecurity as a result of the U.S. trade war. Well, now that we're in September and of course fall is just around the corner, we want to know, how was your summer? Did wildfire smoke stop you from doing all the things you wanted to do? Did it feel short? Well, we asked Winnipeggers those questions. We'll hear some of what you guys had to say after the break. Well, it is a popular weekend in the city, and I'm not talking about the Banjo Bowl, but something else many people wait for. On Sunday, the Assiniboine Park will be taken over by bears. Stuffed bears, that is. It's the annual Teddy Bears Picnic being put on by the Children's Hospital Foundation of Manitoba. Foundation CEO Stefano Grande has more on why the day is so important.
It's an important day because it's all about kids, it's all about caregivers, it's about families, it's about really, getting to learn about our healthcare system and our frontline staff who are there to provide information, education, and a fun way to all the kids and families that are attending the Teddy Bear Picnic this year. As an example, the I Want to Be a Scientist tent is back. We have over 400 scientists in our community trying to find those cures to those diseases. And we're going to have some fun with the kids that day on Sunday, and teach them what it is like to be a scientist and take them through some experiments. And then, of course, we have our Dr. Good Bear tent. This is where we want every child to bring a stuffy, bring a good bear, and let's take the child and the teddy bear through the Good Bear tent, where the kids will have an experience of triaging the triage system, taking their teddy bear to go triage through a variety of medical tests, whether it's at MRIs or X-rays or casting. It gives a child a bit of an experience of what that healthcare system is like in a fun and great way. So we've got food trucks, we have teddy pig games, there's the popcorn factory. There's a lot of things for kids to do to be entertained while having a great Sunday.
I always love the tent where the kids fix the bears, because if your bear has a boo-boo, obviously that's fun and it's cute. But it also can help kids if they end up themselves in the hospital to sort of understand what maybe that's going to be like, and that there's caring people there and how all these things work. Remind us where the money raised at the picnic, where does it go?
The Children's Hospital Foundation of Manitoba, through the generosity of Manitobans, are really able to do some wonderful things, improving research, funding research care, improving child clinical care, whether it's purchasing medical equipment, life-saving equipment, whether it's building our new Indigenous healing room, whether it's improving our emergency department, which is about to go through in construction over the next 6 months. The generosity of Manitobans is part of the healthcare system, and this is a great way of just creating that interface between kids, families, our researchers, our doctors and nurses, the ones on the front lines taking care of our kids.
Well, and we hope for some good weather that weekend. But looking back, Labor Day weekend was sunny, hot and humid. But today, already it feels like fall. And with Winnipeg having its smokiest summer on record this year, we wanted to know how summer was for you. The CBC's Jim Agapito spoke with some students at the University of Manitoba.
Okay, there was a lot of smoke out, so I'm wondering, did smoke prevent you from doing everything you wanted to do?
Not necessarily, but it affected my work a lot.
How so?
I was a manager of a swim pool, so we had to cancel outside swimming lessons, which made my day really crazy when that happened.
What happens when that happens?
Well, you can't swim when there's smoke. It's not good for you, so we have to cancel lessons and do a whole bunch of credits on account and stuff.
How was your summer?
It was tiring.
Why was it tiring?
I worked like 50-hour work weeks for the whole summer doing a physical job with children too.
What was the job?
I worked at a paddle camp out near Selkirk. We would have day camps where kids would come out and we go paddle on an offshoot of the Red River.
Okay, I gotta ask now, did the smoke prevent you from doing everything you want to do this summer?
Yes. We had many days where we were forced to keep kids inside or cancel groups that were planning to come. And when I got home after work, wanted to go outside, couldn't. I have asthma, so it really prevents me.
During the first part of the summer, there was a lot of smoke. It was bad, breathing that stuff, but it's better. It's going better now. It feels way better.
Did that prevent you from doing anything to smoke at the beginning of summer?
No, not at all. I was still going to the gym, working out, going outdoors, camping, hiking, stuff like that. It was really good.
Okay, so question for you, how was your summer?
My summer was pretty busy. I was doing just basically work and trying to get out on the weekends, get outside.
Question for you then, there's a lot of smoke in the summer. Did that prevent you from doing everything you wanted to?
Well, I go out to my cabin in Northwest Ontario, and so there was still some pretty bad smoke out there. So unfortunately, I spent all my weekdays inside for work, and then I ended up spending a lot of time inside on the weekends that I'd like to spend outside because of the smoke. So.
Well, that smoke definitely something we heard of and saw a lot of this summer.
352 smoke hours in Winnipeg, up to the end of the season, which Environment Canada says is the end of August. And for what it's worth, we haven't had any smoke hours into September.
Well, that's good news.
That is a record from 1961 that we broke this summer by quite a ways. So yes, it was
not what I think we want to hold.
Exactly. Yeah. We are looking at maybe a little bit of haze in some parts of northern Manitoba this weekend, but really not having much of an impact elsewhere. We are seeing smoke on the west coast from wildfires that are burning in British Columbia and parts of the north, but that's about it for any air quality concerns. All right, Feline Friday, and I've got Bishka. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you, Ryan and Amanda, for sending this picture in. I know you guys sent several pictures of Bishka in, so thanks for thinking of us. You can always send yours to talkback at cbc.ca. We are looking at temperatures still below seasonal as we get through the day on Saturday. What you'll notice again is a wind more northerly tomorrow, 20 gusting 40 through the afternoon. We'll start to see that lightening up as we get into the evening hours. Again, today in Winnipeg, we saw winds at their peak gusting to just about 60 kilometers an hour this afternoon, down to a northwest wind, 20 gusting to 40 at the moment. The camera on our roof here not shaking as badly as it was earlier in the afternoon, that's for sure. Temperatures really across the south below seasonal. We should be around 20 degrees this time of the year, 11s in Dauphin and Swan River at the moment, 9s through Thompson, Churchill and to Dooley Lake. So we are seeing some brief clearing into parts of southern Manitoba. Do expect as we get into Saturday, though, we do see some cloud returning here and there, so a mix of sun and clouds into tomorrow. Tonight, maybe some scattered showers through Portage. Again, some lake effect possible through Portage, Gimli, Victoria Beach, Pinawa, Beausejour communities around the lakes and just southeast of, looking at the potential for some of those lake effect showers overnight. 5 in Winnipeg, 3s through Verdun, Melita, could get down to even 2 degrees for places like Roblin overnight tonight. 5 in Dauphin and single digits through northern Manitoba as well. Flin Flon at 4, Thompson, Gillam also at 4 and 6 degrees overnight tonight. Bit of cloud cover in northern Manitoba that does start to push out as we get through the day on Saturday. 13 by the afternoon in Thompson, 14s, 15s through Flin Flon, the Pas, Grand Rapids at 13 tomorrow afternoon. And there's some of that lake effect I was talking about as we get through the day on Saturday for parts of southern Manitoba. Peguis down through Arbour, Gimli, again, Lac du Bonny, Beausejour, Pinawa could see some of that lake effect. Again, it doesn't mean that it's going to rain everywhere. Just be on the lookout for maybe a few raindrops or some scattered showers throughout the day. Even in Winnipeg, 15 tomorrow afternoon, 16s for Verdun and Brandon. And into Sunday, temperatures warming up quite nicely. 22s through Westman, Dauphin, 22 in Swan River as well. And Brittany, temperatures in the high teens for southeastern Manitoba. You're 7 days on the way.
All right, thank you, Riley.
You're welcome.
Well, in the 1980s, classroom learning in Canada changed forever. Computers were introduced and revolutionized schools. CBC was there when they were uncommon and a strange teaching method 45 years ago. Take a look.
Computers are rapidly transforming the way we live and learn here in Canada. The changes are so swift and so sweeping that many of us feel overwhelmed and unable to cope. Well, that's not going to be as big a problem for the younger generation. Roxana Spicer explains why.
No, just one, please. Yes?
Computer.
Right.
This is a computer class. There are 19 of them just like it in the Ottawa School Board. The average age here, about 7. They're in grade 1 and 2. Not geniuses or prodigies, just kids learning something the experts say will become just as important as the 3 R's that made the rest of us literate. But this is a new kind of literacy, computer literacy.
Well, yes, usually what it is it says error syntax.
That
means syntax error, that's right. That means that you
unlike the TVs, which were really passive machines, we've now got a machine that interacts. The child can literally interact with the machine. And that's going to make a dramatic impact on our schools.
Gone are the days of drills and review. You remember, out loud now, 6 times 6 is 36, 6 times 7 is 42. Nowadays, kids can do all that with a computer. on individual terminals working at their own speed.
Boy, that's a lot of Amy's.
Of course, that's not what intrigues these kids.
Because they can find lots of things out.
What kinds of things would you like a computer to find out for you?
Rockets. Find out what rockets do.
They're not restricted to the amount of teacher time that they can have. They're not even restricted to the time they would spend with their peers, practicing multiplication facts and that kind of thing. They'll be able to move into problems and problem solving, ultimately, with this machine.
In other words, the computer frees the teacher to spend more time on creative activities, activities that the computer just can't teach. Drama, arts, music. The tool of the future. Before you can say error syntax, it could make the chalk and blackboard obsolete. Roxana Spicer, CBC News, Ottawa.
Still ahead, a fitness regimen for your dog. How some pups in Halifax beat the heat this summer. We'll have more on that when we come back. Stay with us.
All right, something to see in the night sky. Sunday night into Monday morning is the best time to look at this. September's full moon. It'll be at 99.7 full overnight Sunday into Monday. And skies across the south, at least, across much of the province, I'm thinking should be clear enough for that. This is the corn moon done to mark harvest as we go into the fall months here. By the way, October, November, December, all super moons. So those full moons for the rest of the year will look larger than normal. So that's something to look forward to as we get into the cooler months here. So maybe some isolated showers for the Banjo Bowl tomorrow, 15 degrees. And then look at this stretch of weather as we get into the 7-day forecast here, looking at 24 degrees on the way for Wednesday, and then 22s on the way for Thursday and Friday. The weather hasn't exactly been great for dog walks this summer.
No.
There was a lot of smoke. August maybe a bit wet. In Nova Scotia, though, it was very hot. Maybe some days too hot to walk your dog.
But a Halifax man is helping pups get their exercise without even leaving the yard. Here's your daily lift.
So a little bit about Wagon Wheels. It's dog cardio on the go. We basically come to your house to run your dog. A typical session for a dog looks like rolling up, owner lets the dog out, sometimes on a leash, sometimes the dog is barreling down the driveway, and then setting them up with the harness, and then just hooking them up to the treadmill, and then really engaging them with a toy. Hopefully they have a high prey drive, so they want to chase something, and engaging with them, praising them, and just telling them that they're a good boy or girl.
So Bruce is a golden retriever. He's about 3.5 years old, and we've started with Wagon Wheels about 3 or 4 months ago, and it's a part of his weekly routine now. We take him for lots of walks. He goes to the park, he swims. He's a very active dog, but understandably, he doesn't always get the opportunity to run as fast as he can. So I think for him, he gets a lot of enjoyment from being able to, not be confined by the pace of which I'm walking. He loves getting that ability to go as fast as he can, and he's built quite the rapport actually with Spencer as well, so he gets pretty excited to see him and, get some petting and enjoying his company as well.
This really helps a lot of dogs really tap into that natural instinct to chase, run after something, herd something.
I hope they eventually let Bruce catch his little toy there at the end.
Exactly. I was thinking I could use something like that. I wonder
Why
if they
not?
make it for people.
There we go. Treadmills.
That would
indoor
be some
treadmills.
motivation for me.
Have a great night, great weekend. We'll see you here
on
Monday.